দেশ বিদেশ, জাতীয় আন্তর্জাতিক, রাজনীতি থেকে খেলা, শিক্ষা থেকে সংস্কৃতি, সব খবর পেতে চোখ রাখুন শুধুমাত্র নিউজ প্রাইমে। আমরা সত্যি লুকোই না, আমরা সত্যি দেখাই। সাবস্ক্রাইব আওয়ার চ্যানেল ফর ফার্দার আপডেটস।
নমস্কার, নিউজ প্রাইম আপনাদের স্বাগত। আমি সঞ্জয় রয়েছি আপনাদের সাথে। এই মুহূর্তে আমরা রয়েছি এক আলোচনা সভায়। আয়োজক MCCI অর্থাৎ মার্চেন্ট চেম্বার অফ কমার্স অ্যান্ড ইন্ডাস্ট্রিজ। কি সেই আলোচনা সভা? না, গ্লোবাল আনসার্টিনিটিস ইন ইন্ডিয়ান মার্কেট। এই মুহূর্তে আমার সঙ্গে যিনি রয়েছেন তিনি নরেশ টেকের প্রতিষ্ঠাতা কর্ণধার নরেশ মিরানি, বিশিষ্ট বাজার বিশেষজ্ঞ, সেবি রেজিস্টার্ড মার্কেট অ্যানালিসিস্ট। কথা বলে নেব তার সাথে। Sir, first of all, you are cordially welcome to our channel News Prime.
Thank you so much.
Sir, how do you see today's initiative of MCCI regarding global uncertainties in Indian market?
So right now uncertainties are there and that is where you need a lot of discussion, but they've been forever. So, and in the last 5 years everything is out of syllabus. So the syllabus keeps changing. So we had never seen wars. Now we are seeing tariffs after a really long time. So this will continue, but this overall trend has been still positive for India and that continues to remain. So you need to be an optimist to be an investor.
No, sir, this is a apparent word that overall view of Indian market is positive. It seems from very past to very near future. But, sir, how do you see the market after Trump tariff?
So after Trump tariffs, if you look at it, what has happened? India is the only one which has not got a deal. But all the places which have got a deal, they've done well. So whether you pick up an Indonesian market or a Vietnamese market or a Chinese market, they're all at 52-week highs. So the uncertainty is there, but there is also certainty eventually a deal will be in play. So whether it takes weeks or months, nobody has a clue. So,
Sir, I apologize for stopping you. That do you see that Trump tariff has hurted our export promotional system, and for that market will be more volatile, export oriented companies?
So the reason the markets are not as volatile is if you see the constituents of our indices or major stocks, they're not purely export oriented. The ones which are, whether it is IT or pharma, they are not under the tariffs. So all the tariffs are on other sectors, goods, textiles, garments. They're not a part of the index. So you will not see it happen over there. But there is been a consolidation much more deeper on that side of the sector. Or those sectors have been sideways only. And those are not very large part of the equity market per se. They are a big part of labor market, but they are not a big part of the equity market. So overall, this is where we are. And we've seen whether it was China, it started with a tariff kept on increasing. So today, whether it is 50% is equivalent to 500%. Nothing goes forward. But this cannot remain forever. So what happens is, and we've seen COVID also. So in COVID, did you think by year end, you'll end up positive for the year? So this is how markets are. When there is uncertainty, there is opportunity. And there has to be patience. So we are in that period where you have to be patient, keep waiting, and remain invested and keep finding ideas.
Sir, another major event which has been taken by Government of India very recently, 2 or 3 days before, reformation of GST. What is the impact in Indian market, this reformation of GST?
So if you see, the impacts are very clear how the markets have started moving. So the sectors which really get impacted, whether it is autos. So you have a Maruti Suzuki at a 52-week high. You have auto ancillaries doing well. And overall consumption should do well post this. So all the things which are happening on the domestic side have been good in the last few months, whether it was direct taxes or indirect taxes. So things over there are all, so I don't see a lot of uncertainty from the domestic side of it. The uncertainty is global, which is not in our control. But we've seen eventually it all sorts out, whether it was geopolitics, say Russia, Ukraine, for example. The market did well even after that. So there will be 3-6 months period where we don't have a clue. And nobody has a clue. That's the whole point. Either we don't have a clue and nobody else has a clue. But that short-term struggle period is going to remain where you are clueless. But we've seen whenever there has been such clueless period, the next, after a few months, the opportunities get bigger.
Sir, as you were saying that purchasing power in the market will be increased, and on that basis the market will go up. But sir, on the same time the companies will lose their ITC due to reformation of GST. How can they manage their proportionate profit margin regarding to give the beneficiary to the bottom level people?
So I'm not the most say apt person to talk about it, but the fact is, if you look at whatever has come from the industry, they've not been talking about it. So we are talking about ITC being a problem or somebody else, but that's not been the communication from any of the managements which are in the same sectors which we think there is a problem. So I think it is something, and Indian entrepreneurs are anyways very uh, genius in terms of finding ways to pass on the cost as well as reduce the cost. So the fact is, all these issues, and we see we've gone through demonetization also, which was only an Indian phenomenon.
Exactly.
So if we could live through demonetization and COVID, I think this is much lesser a problem.
Sir, India will in the path in the path will be the fourth greatest economy in the world now at present, and their Indian target is 2047. How do you see Indian market in near future? Whether is it going stable, is it going up or volatile?
So say the next 3-4 months there could be volatility, and suddenly things change. So any one positive trigger. So we've gone nowhere for the last 1 year. One return is zero.
মানে, are we wait for the positive trigger?
So the positive trigger will come out of nowhere, and suddenly the markets will do well. And the fact is, see, the past 1 year return is zero. In a lot of stocks, 2 year return is zero. So that is where opportunity. You just need a little bit of a positive change, and the markets react faster. So my view is personally that over the next few months is where suddenly things will change, and that is what has happened. So whenever we see uncertainty, certainty comes out of nowhere. So COVID happened. 6 months later, who would have thought we get into a new bull market? And we say the calendar year 2020 was not even negative; it was a positive year.
Absolutely.
So right now also we are in that period where the returns have been bad for the last 1 year. So opportunities are there across the board. It's just that we've so today we are in this world of over information and overreaction. So that will eventually play out, and I think over the next 2-3 years everything looks interesting. But the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, nobody has a clue. Or the next 3 months.
Sir, general people is very willing and eagerly waiting to get views from Nooresh Mirani like a greatest market analyst. What is your view in now at present our market?
So my view remains positive for the next 6 to 12
Will
months.
they buy?
Yeah, so this is a continue. You
Buying
have to
trend.
keep scattered buying over the next few months. And the fact is, you cannot point out exact bottoms or exact rally. But 6 months, 12 months later, we'll be talking. So 12 months later, we'll be talking. We are in that overvaluation phase when the market goes up. So we'll always have something to worry about all the time. So in good times, you worry about overvaluation. In bad times, you worry about uncertainty. So this is the best time to keep on doing what you're doing in a disciplined way.
So will you want to share some message to the viewers of News Prime?
So keep on increasing equity exposure over the next many months, and be disciplined. Do not do anything over extreme with all the reactions. Don't try to convert every news into an action, because what we've seen is, I'll end off with an example. Demonetization implied real estate should do bad. The best performing index that year was real estate. So that is the case. Don't take extreme decisions. Continue to be disciplined.
অর্থাৎ যেমনটা নরেশ মিনারি জানাচ্ছেন যে নিয়ম শৃঙ্খলাবদ্ধভাবে যদি আপনারা বাজারে ডেটে থাকেন এবং ধৈর্য ধরে অপেক্ষা করেন, তাহলে পজিটিভ চমক আপনাদের জন্য অপেক্ষা করছে এবং বাজার ওপর দিকেই যাবে। এবং এটাই জানাচ্ছেন যে ভারতবর্ষ যে চতুর্থ বৃহত্তম ইকোনমির দিকে এগোচ্ছে, তাতে আমরা কোভিড পিরিয়ডেও যেমন আমরা আমাদের বাজারকে একদম তলানিতে যেতে দেখিনি, এই সময়তেও আমাদের একটু ধৈর্য ধরতে হবে, কারণ দুটো মেজর ইভেন্ট গেছে। আগামী 2-3 সপ্তাহ হয়তো একটু ক্রুশিয়াল, কিন্তু আগামী দিন পজিটিভ রেজাল্টই অপেক্ষা করছে বাজারের জন্য। যদি সামর্থ্য থাকে ধীরে ধীরে বাজারে নিবেশ করুন, ধৈর্য ধরুন, পজিটিভ রেজাল্ট অবশ্যই আসবে, এমনটাই জানাচ্ছেন সেবি রেজিস্ট্রিত বাজার বিশেষজ্ঞ নরেশ মিরানি। ভিডিও জার্নালিস্ট ইন্ডিয়ার সাথে নিউজ প্রাইমের জন্য সঞ্জয় সাহা।